Today we are going to be taking a trip to Equatorial Guinea, the central Africa. Right? This story has been going on for over 2 weeks. It's about a man who was the head of an anti-corruption agency and was caught with his head in the wrong place. As a matter of fact, he was caught starring in his own movie with multiple sequels. As a matter of fact, there's even a challenge after him all over TikTok, all over Twitter and Instagram, whichever social media. It's been going on for a long time. Join me as we scatter the yarns of this story together. And before we do, just have to remind people that the thoughts and what you might think are views are actually for entertainment and discussion purposes only and do not reflect the views or values of the presenter and contributor. So join me as we scatter the yarn together. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Scatter Yarn Podcast, another session of Scatter Yarn Podcast. Hope you're having a beautiful and fantastic day. If you're not, I hope something comes your way that makes you smile. As usual, I'm your host, Dr. Toves. In today's one is a banger because the man actually bangs. The man in this story, his name is Baltasar Ngonga Ebang. That's not the way you pronounce his name. I'm sure I'll be like, hi, my name is Baltasar Ngonga Ebang. But his name is not the only fun and legendary thing with his name in this story. There are so many other legendary things that we could delve into, but I'm not going to go there yet. Let's just start from the beginning. Right now, imagine that you're working like in a police department or a CIA or Homeland Security, whatever equivalent that is in your own country. You've been told that there's someone that's been accused of corruption and you're going to actually go to his office, raid the office and see if you can find any evidence of fraud, corruption and things like that. But on getting there, not even for getting there, you thought that, okay, when we get there, we're going to find some files, some papers, maybe some voice notes that actually implicates this particular person. And you opening his closet, you didn't find any skeletons. The proverbial skeletons in his closet. You actually found tapes of the man starring in his own movies. I'm sure you can guess what type of tapes that is, right? So this was a very, very scandalous story in Equatorial Guinea. And Equatorial Guinea has a population of over just about 1.7 million people. So it's a very, very tiny country. Fun fact, Equatorial Guinea is also one of 3 Guineas in Africa, if I can recall correctly. Right? We have Guinea-Bissau, Portuguese speaking. We have Equatorial Guinea, Conakry. I think that's French speaking. And then we have Equatorial Guinea. If we have more, please let me know. I did not do so well in geography. Malambala beat me too much that I lost attention. I didn't fail it, but I didn't get a credit either. I got a D. And this man gave a lot of Ds as well in his job, right? Like I said, it's the thing that actually made it big and humongous in social media and in the world is the type of people that this man was involved with, right? He was involved, like the number of tapes that was seen and recovered was over 400 tapes starring one man, the banger, Ebang Engonga, that's his name, right? He was starring in over 400 of them, and some of the women are very, very prominent. Some of them included the head of police. Let me even check my list so I don't mix this up. Right? It included the Attorney General's wife, very, very brave. The wife of the director of the presidential security. So I'm guessing like chief of staff or like Homeland Security person that gets the president. Slept with the guy's wife, slept with the daughter of the head of police, slept with the president's daughter. All of these are rumored and reported and alleged. Okay. His own bodyguard's wife, some of his co-workers, about 15 of his co-workers, his pastor's wife, his pastor's brother's wife, his uncle's pregnant wife. Like, the guy was just smacking and smashing. You would think that someone who was the head of security that is promised to crack down on corruption is actually cracking down on other cracks. And you can guess what type of crack I'm talking about. If you don't know, bless your heart. Right? So that's what this guy was doing. But fun aside, fun story aside, oh no, one more fun, right? If you're into, let's break it down now. Let's break it really back because I'm getting too energetic and excited, right? Now, at Scatteryan, we like to look at how society affects people's behavior. That is what I like to look at. That's my focus. Any story I discuss, I always bring back to society. So, what societal implication, like what about society would have made this man to want to, 400 times? We don't know if it's of the same, like 400 different people, but maybe even if it's more the same people over 400 times, that's a lot of times, right? His body count is mad. And that is the societal implication, I think. I think there's a lot of people that place emphasis on body count. Maybe when this guy was in, I don't know, I'm speculating, I could be wrong, but whatever, it's Scatteryan, so let's Scatteryan, right? It could be that when this guy was in secondary school, because for head of anti-corruption, it must have been, his head in a good place. Pun intended. His head was in a good place, like maybe he didn't have so many exploits in his school days, and now became head of corruption. He's apparently a good-looking man, according to those reports and on social media and things like that. And they heard about how good or how dangerous he is, depending on which side of the coin that you land. And he decided to take advantage and decided to rack up his body count. As a matter of fact, if I'm going to assume that the 400 tapes are for 400 different people, the only other people in history that I know of, recorded history, would have been Solomon and his son Rehoboam. Right? Those are the numbers that Ibanga, Engonga, Baltasar is touching. That guy is keeping people like Von de Sar. If you know, you know. This guy is a prominent guy, right? He is prominent. He's a public figure. And the question is, should public figures have private lives? Because this guy has been interrogated or investigated for fraud and things like that, but the tapes were now released to the public, or leaked, in quote, to the public. That should not be the case, right? Because that's his private life. I'm sure like having sex is not illegal. Not yet anyway. Recording yourself in the act is also not illegal. Right, I can understand the moral part, right? The moral part because it's the head of an organization, right? You're meant to be a role model, but at the same time, he's doing his thing in private. But also, on the other hand, according to what I read, some of the movies were shot in his office. Okay, so obviously that is wrong. HR will have a problem with that. Again, here comes power dynamics. He felt he could do it. Because he's probably the boss and he could do whatever he wanted in the office, because normal regular employees, male employees, because he actually had incidents with female employees, I'm sure male employees will not have the same level of confidence to do what Ibanga was doing in the office. So I think on the moral side, you can say it's shaky. Also, he's a married man. He's breaking his vows, and vows to a lot of people are legal in a way, because you went to say your vows, probably went to court and went to church and got a certificate for it and swore an oath that you're going to forsake all others, but you're there basically calibrating and conducting some investigation on other people's wives and other people's wives' bodies. That is wrong. That is immoral. Some can say illegal in a way. Adultery, is it illegal? Should it be illegal or not? That's another conversation that we could have on a different day. Another point that we could touch on is the story also this big because of the kind of women that he was frolicking with? Is it because there's the Director General's wives involved, Deputy Head of Police wives involved, President's daughter involved, and things like that? Is that why the story is this huge? If it was just a regular dude with no prominent job, not sleeping with no prominent people, is still going to have as much effect as it is. Obviously, the first day or the first 2 days, fair enough. But for over 2 weeks now, and having international eyes on it, right? The type of women as well might matter. And also, the women that kept going back, that were promiscuous, what are they looking for? They have husbands, they have boyfriends. What are they looking for? Some are even pregnant. What are they looking for? right? I know that sometimes when, no, I know, I've heard that sometimes when women hear that a man is particularly skilled and gifted, some of them might want to sample. We've seen situations like Kim K said she, linked up with what's his name, Pete Davidson, because she was bored in a hotel. She just rang him up. Obviously, she's heard the news all over the in Hollywood about the guy's prowess, and so she just invited him over, and that's what happened. And multiple women did the same thing as well. So is that the situation? I'm not judging them. I don't judge people for promiscuity. Again, to each their own. I don't judge. And also, I think I don't judge as well because in one of my early days of taking sociology, the Malam that was teaching us, two Malams I've mentioned now, Malam Bala, with me a lot. This other Malam, I'm not going to mention his name. It's also a B, Malam B. Actually, in the first few classes, he always said that, sex is a biological drive. Just like eating, drinking, and the need for sleep. When you're thirsty, you drink water. When you're hungry, you eat. When you feel the need, when you're tired and you feel the need to sleep, you sleep. And likewise, when you have the urge, you should go for it, because if you don't go for it, if you suppress it, it's going to increase in geometric progression. Is there a possibility that these women and husbands were neglecting them and they know that Ibanga does not discriminate? So they went, because apparently they were also videoing themselves and recording themselves. They were on a pressing play, looking at the camera, smiling at the camera, and doing so for them to be confident to be able to do that, it means that they were not shy, they didn't feel guilty. So why should people shame them for not feeling guilty? If you're religious and your religion says don't judge, why are you judging them or condemning them at the same time? But anyways, like I said, it's just for conversation purpose. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I like to round up with some would you rather questions. So here are 3 or 4 would you rather questions that I would like you to engage in. Okay? First one. Would you rather be caught with 400 tapes of your personal life or 1 incriminating financial document? Would you rather be caught with 400 tapes of your personal life or 1 incriminating financial document? Me personally, I'll go for 1 incriminating financial document. They are both bad, but I don't want 400 tapes of my personal life to be out there in the world. Okay, so 1 financial document, I might be able to argue that in court. It says incriminating. It does not say that. That's what I think. But you let me know what would you rather do for fun. Okay. The next would you rather is, would you rather have your private life, like this guy's one in this situation, aired to the world, or have people wrongly believe that you are guilty of fraud? This is an interesting one. Would you rather have your private life, sex tapes, aired to the world, or have people wrongly believe that you're guilty of fraud? I think I'll rather have people believe that I'm guilty of fraud. And I'm going to say why. Now, I should have mentioned this earlier. Let's go some little conspiracy theory. Because when I heard the story, the conspiracy theory part of my brain, which I'm going to call critical thinking, right, made me think, why would, this is not random, right? This should have been targeted. Because surely the kind of caliber of people's wife that he was dealing with, they will surely know that what act is going on. Like, these people are prominent people in the country. They should know what is going on. They'll have their eyes on ground. So is this a ploy to kind of discredit the guy? Because they probably know that the tapes were in his office. That's why they went to his office. They know the guy is not corrupt. And as a matter of fact, that's what my initial thought was when I heard the story. And actually, there's an article in BBC that also has similar kind of perspective. Okay, let me share that with you right now. Right, so you can see it's BBC News. I'm not making this up. Okay, so here it is. Like, Mr. Engonga is the nephew of President Teodoro Obiang Nguema, and one of those thought to be hoping to replace him. So Engonga is the nephew to the president, and the guy is in good standing with the public. They're thinking he might be the one to replace him. Obiang is the world's longest serving president, having been in power since 1979. That's a long time, right? Over 45 years, if my estimation is correct. The 82-year-old has overseen an economic boom that has turned to a bust as a result of the now dwindling oil reserves. So the country possibly is looking for a new leader, a change, and a way forward. And Engonga is supposedly the favorite to run it, and then powers that be pull the strings to pull him out of office and discredit him and make him look very, very bad, and spoil his ego and his image and his reputation. And now we can no longer challenge the guy. Again, that is one point of view, but you let me know what you think in the comment section below, right? And two more would you rather. Okay, would you rather have to explain a huge personal scandal to your family, or give a press conference about it? This one's a tough one. Would you rather explain a personal scandal to your family, this kind of scandal to your family, or give a press conference about one? Now, in this particular situation, obviously, the guy will have to give two explanations, but I'd rather just do it to my family. Press conference, okay? No, I don't want to give press conference about what I've done personally. So, but you let me know what you think in the comment section below. And the last would you rather for today is, would you rather be remembered for a scandal that shook people, or be forgotten completely? Would you rather be remembered for a scandal that shook people, or be completely forgotten? Wow. People would like to be remembered in the sand of time. That's what we had growing up, right? You have to do things. You only be remembered by what you have done. Leave your footprint in the sand. But would you like to leave a negative one? This kind of scandal, right? Some people are going to praise you and say you're the GOAT. Some people might say you abused your power because you slept with people that worked with you. But in this situation, man, I'd rather be completely forgotten. That's what I'd rather do. But you let me know what you think in the comment section below. So, yes, as we round up, I will say, well, I think it's safe to say that this story will be talked about for a long time, and more weeks to come. And it's a real test of where we draw the line between personal choice and personal responsibility, and how far we expect our leaders to live up to the standards that they represent. This might not be the scandal that we expected from an anti-corruption chief, but maybe that's what makes it so captivating. When life imitates scandal, it makes you wonder how much we really know about the people in power. Thank you for listening. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for tuning to Scatteryan. If you've enjoyed this episode, as always, hit the like button, press subscribe if you've not done so already, and give your own thoughts in the comment section below. I would like to read them in a future show. As usual, until the next episode, stay safe, stay curious, question everything. This has been Scatteryan Podcast. SCFA.